This meeting started here. We'll start with roll call.
Mary Benton, Albert Brown,
Here.
Gordon Fry,
Here.
Charles Jennings, Mike Munson,
Here.
Andy Patton,
Here.
Scott Rogers,
Here.
Chris Tackett,
Here.
Brian Wells.
All right, at this time, I'd like to ask any planning commission members to make a declaration of any conflict of interest with regards to any of the items on the agenda tonight that may hinder any fair decisions being made.
I have a conflict.
Yeah, same, yeah, Park City Initiative.
I have one also.
Outside of that, public comments, anyone who wishes to address the planning commission regarding items not on the agenda, is anyone here to speak on that? I know there's some concerns with a light, but I don't see anyone here on it, so, all right.
I didn't know if he would come or not.
Next, consent agenda, meeting approval for November 14th, 2017. Everyone should have received something in the mail. Questions, concerns? Entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Motion to approve the minutes was made and seconded. All those in favor of approving the November 14th, 2017 meeting, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Next, item number 4, we need to consider a recommendation to the city commission regarding the annexation of 5 acres south of 1125 West Skyline Road. I think Josh is gonna go ahead and not only discuss that, but the rest of the agenda items so we can kind of keep the meeting moving. That sounds good.
I think that's probably the best bet for us.
So,
It'll save us all. And since we don't have any members of the general public besides the applicant, we can scurry through this. So, we'll start with the annexation. Did we wanna do all the hearings at the end of my presentation, or how do we wanna do that?
that'd probably be best. I mean, what do you, that works for me.
I can do that, we'll do that. Okay, so for the annexation, this is a consented to annexation, so it doesn't technically require your approval as a planning commission, but as we've done before, it's just good to make sure that all annexations comply with the comprehensive plan, is basically why I'm bringing that for you. This property is actually adjacent to 1125 West Skyline Road. It's about 5 acres that's just to the south of it. It's been split off of the property that's to the south that's owned by Park City Industries. And as always, whenever you do an annexation, that provides additional tax revenue as well. And this particular project would require much needed housing. That's a big reason we're doing this. So that's really all there is for the. Why is this not working? It helps the pond. So we'll skip this until the end, but basically you're just making a motion to recommend that the city commission go ahead and annex that. Second item on your agenda for the first public hearing, we'll just say it that way, is for rezone of property from R1 and C2. Wait a minute, I did this. Let me back up. We're actually doing 2 rezones here. When the property to the south is annexed, it would need to be rezoned to R2 so that it matches the other part. The 1125 West Skyline is currently C2, which would not be conducive to housing. Remember we rezoned that to C2 2015, I believe it was, and that project never materialized, so we need to take it back to residential. In fact, even if we didn't go forward with the subdivision, this would be a good thing to do because it really needs to be residential. And then the third item, this subdivision has a lot of lots, as you might remember from our public hearing for the preliminary plat. And so that restricts what you can build there. The housing opportunity overlay lifts a little bit of those restrictions, makes the minimum lots, well, doesn't make the minimum lot size so high. It minimizes what the setbacks are required for. Basically, anytime you're doing a housing project, it's keyed in for affordable housing, which some of this will be. So the subject property is located at, and it's immediately south of 1125 West Skyline. Property is currently ag land. Surrounding area is agricultural and residential. The entire property that we're talking about is about 11 acres. 1125 has 6. Part of the property was recently annexed. Well, that's what we just first talked about. The intended use is single-family residential. And like I said before, the default zoning when you annex is R1. So the applicant wishes to change the default zoning, of course. And like I said, let's skip that. So, is this consistent with regulations? And I provided you with 3 separate staff reports, but the text here is kind of puts those 3 together. So it's the intent of residential zoning districts to provide for areas of low, medium, high density residential development, including certain other smaller, similar uses, public or private. The change of classification would be consistent with the intended purpose. The intent of the housing opportunity overlay district is to provide greater density residential development, like I said before, on smaller than normal lot sizes in areas where development of residential is desirable. In this area, it's close to Creekstone, which is one of the main reasons it's going forward. These regulations also provide for additional development incentives with a variety of ranges of income. Basically, we can work with them on their setbacks. Neighborhood character, the surrounding area is comprised of agricultural and residential uses. There is an apartment complex meadow walk to the east of it. Single-family homes are found to the southeast of the site, and everywhere else is either vacant or ag use. Is a rezone necessary for this proposed use? For the 1125, most definitely, because it's commercial right now. The area is prime for residential development, which is probably why we shouldn't have rezoned that other thing in the first place. But it is prepared for residential development. There seems to be a demand for it. We certainly do need housing in this community. It's a pretty decent area and near jobs and that sort of thing. The overlay district allows for more units to be put on site, basically, is what it comes down to. So the effect on nearby property, northwest and south of the site is unincorporated. It is not zoned, but it's primarily agricultural land. To the east is the R3 district for the apartment complex, which that is what it is. It isn't residential use. Proposed use is single-family residential, as I said before. The recent road upgrades can handle more of this kind of traffic, so it should not affect the area adversely. Compatibility, it does appear to be compatible with the area. It could also be used for 2-family under R2 zoning.
Hey Josh, since we've read through all this and there's, I guess, one person in the audience, can we waive reading of this unless we have any questions, or do we have to go through all this?
I need to do at least some of this.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
The overlay district focused on density. Suitability of current restrictions, it is suitable for it does match the comprehensive plan on it's residential. Vacancy, this property's been vacant for many years. This would probably be the best use. Public utilities, water and sewer is near the site, and we checked with AT&T and Cox, they can extend to the site. Sewer does have to be extended. They had to get an easement from Meadowalk to extend the sewer line across their south property line. Police and fire should be fine. As far as other land, technically there's other land that's R2, but not in this general area. Like I said, it conforms to the comprehensive plan. It does also meet some of the goals which involve housing. we're trying to encourage housing, especially affordable, but housing in general. Shouldn't adversely affect public health. And public comments. I didn't really receive any opposition from anybody. The only comments I really got was from Meadowalk, and really that was just because they wanted to stay in the loop about what's going on next to them. But they weren't really opposed to it. I talked to the manager, and she was here at the public hearing too. So here's the map of the area. Same thing as we had for the preliminary plat. This is the future land use map. Of course, it's all blue for residential in that general area. This is both the growth area map and the city one combined, so that's why it's all blue. This is what the zoning for the area is. Of course, all the white is not zoned because it's outside of the city limits. There is some R1 off to the southeast, and there's some of those single-family homes that were annexed into the city. This is the property. Of course, it's undeveloped today. You can see the apartments in the background. The skyline is in pretty good shape. And this will come back off to the west. So it's staff's recommendation to go ahead and recommend all three of these rezones from R1 to R2, from C2 to R2, and also to create the overlay district. The property has been designated as residential on the future land use map. Appears to be compatible. It's underutilized for many years. It's near employers. Shouldn't adversely affect the area. And provides housing. So that's what's before you. And I'm certainly open to questions.
Since this property's been underutilized for a number of years, why all of a sudden do they want to rezone this?
That the rezone will help to.
If correct, one originally residential in our comprehensive plan, but then, as Mr. Jennings, who's not here, stated last time, we should never change it to C2. So we're wanting to put it back to our residential, which would conform with our comprehensive plan.
I understand that, but since it's for a number of years, it's been underutilized, nothing's happened. Why now?
They want to
That's
build on
my
it.
question.
Yield.
You probably better open the public hearing.
Edwards
Yeah.
from Compass Point LLC, if it's okay, I'll answer the question. It was available and I was able to buy it.
Okay,
So,
There you go.
so
that answers my question. That's why all of a sudden they're doing this. That's,
well, we will move on to the first one, which does not require a public hearing, is I shouldn't assume, I guess I should say, what do we want to do with regards to recommending to the city commission the annexation of those 5 acres south of 1125?
I move to make a recommendation to the city commission to approve a request to annex 5 acres south of 1125 West Skyline Road.
Motion's been made.
Second.
Chris seconds it. I think for that, we could probably just do
Just do a voice vote.
voice vote, yes. All those in favor of recommending to the city commission the annexation of 5 acres south of 1125 West Skyline Road, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, now that that's been done, I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing with regards to the rezoning of R1 to R2, C2 to R2, and then the housing opportunity overlay district.
I so moved.
Moves.
Second.
Second. This time, the public hearing's been open. Any more discussion with regards to that? Anyone, any comments?
Would you like an update on where we are?
Yes, that'd be awesome, yeah.
We have been working with Mr. Munson to purchase.
Would you come to the podium?
Thank you. I've been working with Art City Industries to get closed on that 5 acres. We had the holiday period, and it was difficult to get the survey done, so we finally got the survey done, and then we turned the paperwork in to set up closing, and we had to go another step, which was the closing title company had to define the property and then put the paperwork together to actually have a sellable defined property. That was done as of this afternoon, and we're moving forward with closing. If you have any questions about the density, anything else, we'd be happy to answer that.
Any more questions, discussion?
Do we close the hearing now?
Yeah.
Motion to close the hearing.
Move.
Move. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye. Aye. At this time, I would entertain a motion with regards to whether we want, what we want to do with the 5 acres south of 1125 West Skyline with regards to converting it from an R1 to R2. From a low density to a medium density. Personally, I don't see any issue with it. I think it's good to get some housing back in Arc City, and I think it'll help with a lot of other needs that were addressed by Josh, so.
So moved.
Motion's been made to approve or to rezone 5 acres south of 1125 West Skyline Road from R1 low density to R2 medium density. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. At this time, we will do a roll call vote with regards to those 5 acres south of 1125 West Skyline.
Okay, Albert Brown,
Yes.
Gordon Fry,
Yes.
Mike Munson,
Abstain.
Andy Patton,
Yes.
Scott Rogers,
Yes.
Chris Tackett,
Yes.
Brian Wells.
All right, now we will go back to opening another public hearing to consider I just make a motion, I entertain a motion to
You already
open
did
one
that.
more public hearing, it's all done. I know,
Okay.
we're done, all right.
You're
So
fine.
now we'll move on to approving, or I guess, what do we want to do with the actual 1125 address, converting it from a C2 to an R2? Like I mentioned earlier, I think that's a good idea, and part of getting that back to residential is what we probably should have left it at to begin with, so.
Can I make a motion even though I abstain?
I make a motion.
Bauer makes a motion, Mr. Brown makes a motion to rezone 1125 West Skyline Road from a C2 restricted commercial district to an R2 medium density residential district. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been seconded, we'll have another roll call vote.
Albert Brown,
Yes.
Gordon Fry,
Yes.
Mike Munson,
Abstain.
Andy Patton,
Yes.
Scott Rogers,
Yes.
Chris Tackett,
Yes.
Brian Wells.
Okay, we've already done the public hearing with regards to the changing of the rezoning those areas. Now it'd be nice to create a housing opportunity overlay district with regards to 1125 West Skyline Road and the adjacent 5 acres south, to the south.
The word that kind of funny, but
Yeah, and I understand.
the legal description's
No.
all there.
So. I'll go ahead and make a motion to create the housing opportunity overlay district for the 1125 West Skyline Road and the adjacent 5 acres.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. One more roll call vote, it sounds like.
I usually do those for rezones, just cover.
Yeah, that's fine, we'll do it here too.
Albert Brown,
Yes.
Gordon Fry,
Yes.
Mike Munson,
Abstain.
Andy Patton,
Yes.
Scott Rogers,
Yes.
Chris Tackett,
Yes.
and Brian Wells. Thank you for bearing with me on that. I know that was kind of funky, but we're just crossing all our T's, dotting all our I's.
No.
Moving parts.
Yes, it is. At this time, we need to consider the final plat of Compass Point Addition. I believe the city just got that sometime today, so I don't know if it's completely final, but we can discuss it, and then we may want to wait till next month so that the city has more time to review it and go over it, so we're not.
I did speak with Mr. Edwards about that a little
All
bit
right.
earlier, and they're more than comfortable with keeping it for another month.
All right.
Because it's not quite done. We do have the paperwork, though. We can get the paperwork for that.
And we've got the engineer as well.
We we do have that option. I did look at it myself today, did my basic checklist for the subdivision regulations. For the most part, it's pretty good. There's a few minor little details that I need to iron out, which would normally be done before it came to you anyways. But we're still pretty minor. There's also the final approval from Public Works. That's kind of what we're waiting for too. But he just got his stuff today too, so that's kind of where we stand on that. I would recommend tabling it
All right,
until next month.
works for me.
Very good.
Any
We
other
can
items,
certainly
and any
do
other,
it.
I don't have, do you guys have anything yet for us?
Just wanted to be available in case you had questions.
Thanks. I don't have anything, any other items on, that weren't on the agenda need to be discussed?
Do we need a motion to table this number 8?
I don't know.
Motion to table, agenda item number 8.
Second.
All those in favor on tabling the final plat of Compass Point Edition at this time, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, I don't see any other items that need to be brought up tonight. Does anyone have any?
I do have one.
All right.
We sort of talked about this before the meeting. Scott, Charles, and Andy's terms, we had to adjust them in order to make them a little bit more in line with the city commission's change in their terms. So, the three of you's terms would have expired on April 30th. I just moved it back to January 31st. So I guess the question I have for two of you that are here is, are you interested in being reappointed for another 3 years?
Yes.
Okay. We can, what I'll do is I'll forward your names to the mayor. Let them know that you are interested in being reappointed unless anybody has any objection. I doubt it. And I'll talk to Charles too to see if he's interested. Did anybody from the planning commission have any other recommendations for anybody to serve? Just open the floor. No? I didn't expect to. But I did want to put that out there, just so that you're aware that's happening. We don't have term limits, so it would just be a matter of the commission approving it. So,
Making that money.
yeah, pretty much since you all make this
That's
planning
right.
commission.
All right, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thanks, guys. Thank you, guys. We need to see this house.